right, here we go. This is Richi Tec. We're gonna talk about his first debut album, Una Diferencia.
Uh-huh.
And so here are some questions. We're actually his music studio right now. So
Yes.
we're gonna ask a couple questions about his album, Richard. All right, so here we go. Question one for Richard: what was your purpose in creating this album?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everybody, and then whoever's subscribed to Bruce here uh, page. He's really a blessing, and I got to know him when we first started working together a long time ago. But now he's vlogging, he's doing his thing, he's doing the word thing, so it's really good. And yeah, I did this album. The purpose of it was that it was the calling that I felt when I was a teenager, probably like around 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. And then I started going to church, not only going to church, but taking things really serious in regards to the calling of God and leaving what I had to leave. And then I did 3 years in one church that kind of taught me the basics of leading worship and the basics of the word. And then they sent me off to like a missionary church in a place in Tijuana where it was pretty poor, pretty run down, and that's where we started doing church. And these songs came from there, from that calling, from that episode of my life.
All right, what do you hope your listeners get out of it from this
Um,
album?
that is Most of it is it's. I hope that they get out a blessing of encouragement that God can help you in the good times and bad times, because going into a missionary field is not easy, and you go through a lot of ups and downs. And this EP, this album, it talks about that. And I know there's only one song in English, but the rest of them, I mean, if you bilingual, if you understand Spanish, they talk about how it's a struggle to, keep going, and it's not an easy thing, but it's God's gonna help you all the way.
All right, what is your definition of worship?
Man, the definition
Yeah.
of worship, I'm more old school, so I will say that the definition of worship today, in worship, we see a big stage, we see a lot of lights, and we see a big congregation. But my definition of worship, and what I was called, I had to leave all that. I had to leave the big stage. I have to leave the big congregation singing at once. Sounds really nice, but when I left to the church that no one wanted to go to, it was just me and the pastor and like three people. So I had to worship with what I had. And the definition of worship to me is to be able to leave everything and worship God in good times and bad times.
All right, why did you decide to name your first debut album Una Diferencia?
So una
Mm.
diferencia means
Mm.
one difference, at least one difference. And for me, leaving as a teenager, I understood that we are here, and God gives us talents that we can work on, and we can improve. And for me, those talents are to make a difference in your community, in your family, in your personal life, and in your city, in your neighborhood. And it goes bigger, right? It goes to from yourself to your family, your community. It starts spreading to the city, it starts spreading to your country, it starts spreading throughout the world. But you gotta get good at it. So it means I just wanted to make one difference. If I can change the life of one person and one teenager at that time, then my job was getting better. So that's the name of the EP, of the album. That's the name of it. Just make a difference.
What song from Uno Diferencia is your favorite, or do you prefer all?
I think
what
the
song?
one
Yeah.
that
Like what stands out for
the
you?
one that stands out is the
Mhm.
name of the song. The
Oh.
name is Make a Difference.
Mhm.
I translated it to the English version more to the stuff that is going on right now with COVID and all this, but the song in Spanish, Making a Difference, is just a calling. It's a prayer to God saying, help me, use me in however you want to use me. Use the talents you gave me. I don't know how to make a difference, but use me somehow to make a difference, because that's what we're here for. And that song is kind of like the first song I sat down and said, I'm going to compose a song because I felt that God was gonna make something good out of it. So that's my favorite one.
How long did it take to make your debut album?
Man,
Yeah.
actually,
It was hard work, right?
In reality, it took me forever.
Forever.
It took me. I composed those songs probably about 19, 20 years ago. It's a long time. So I had them in my head. And I started going to my music program at college, and finishing up those programs. I finally got to a place where I learned how to edit music. I learned how to. I could have gone to a studio and just do it, but I wanted to do everything on my own. I wanted to compose it, arrange it, edit it, and put it up to on all the platforms. So it took me a while to mix it. It took me close to a year. COVID got me behind because I had to order another piano, and I used an old piano that I had before. In reality, it took me years. It took me a lot of years. But I'm kind of glad that it's out there now.
Why is it important to love and worship God in music?
Well, it's important because God is worthy all the time. All the time He's worthy, and if He gives you a big stage to worship, you have to do a good job at that. But if He gives you just a guitar and one or two persons in your church, a small congregation, then you have to be really good at that too. So He is worthy. Any time, any place, He's worthy.
Are you planning to make another album? If so, what will be the next album be about?
Well, for me, I've been doing worship for a lot of years, more than 20 years, in churches. I think one of my callings is that I'm gonna make probably secular songs that talk about God. They're not only talking about the party life, but I want to make songs that really change the community. So my songs are gonna be more of the stuff that is going on, the violence that is going on, and how we can help our community by being people of good faith. And probably my other album is going to be about just talking about issues that we have through our daily community, and how we can be a good Christian, and how we can be good persons. Probably it's gonna be next year. I plan to do at least 2 albums every year.
It's gonna be more of an EP album.
It's gonna be more of an EP album, because the albums now, the new generation, they're not sitting down to listening to 12 songs, or even the EP, they're not listening to 6 songs. They're listening to like one hit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I like that hit, and then they'll download it. So the industry has changed a lot. So there's no reason for us to make 12 songs to an album. So the hip thing to do now is like a single or small EP.
Where can we follow you on social media? Do you have any social media, Richard?
Yeah, you can follow me.
Tell us where we can follow you.
You can look at my Richi Tec YouTube, and it'll link you to my YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel is Richi Tec Diferencia. But if you look at any of the songs that I have, you put Richi Tec and you'll see the songs there, and then you can subscribe to those. They'll link them together. My YouTube channel and my artist channel are linked together now.
What about Instagram? Do you have Instagram?
I have Instagram.
Yeah. Do you mostly use it to promote your music?
Let me see. even forgot the name I had registered.
Yeah, Richard's looking for his Instagram username.
It's just Richard Tech.
Richard
Tech
Tech?
Richard.
Yeah.
Tech Richard in Instagram.
Okay, at Tech Richard.
Tech Richard, yeah.
Or-
And I have just regular pictures of me
Yeah.
with the concerts at school that we did. Concert guitar concerts and pictures of me studying, or pictures of me playing in other churches. But yeah, usually my YouTube channel is where you get more information about the artists and the churches that I have helped out in the past.
How about Facebook? Do you you have anything on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook too. I have Facebook. Let me see what name I have on Facebook.
Yeah.
Still the same
Same
Richard
thing.
Tech in Facebook.
Okay,
So
Richard
usually every day
Tech.
before I go to work, I post a scripture up. My friends, when I was youth, we used to work construction, and I went to work with them a few years. And every time they would, before starting to work, every time they would sit down in their cars and read a Bible, read a verse or something, and then we would go off to work. So I got that from them. I'll sit down before I start my work, read a scripture, and post it up on Facebook, and then we'll go on working.
Any favorite scriptures you like? Like
One of my favorite
yeah.
scriptures is I believe is First Timothy,
Mhm.
or the both Timothy books are where Paul teaches his young apprentice Timothy how to be a good follower of Christ, and that's kind of like my calling when I was a youth, when I was in the youth group. I just had to learn everything from your pastor. So learn as much as you can from your worship leaders or your youth leaders, and then slowly you start growing up and you become that. You become a youth pastor, you become a pastor, or you become a worship leader. So the Timothys, First and Second Timothy, are the ones that I like better.
So last question for Richard. Tell us, what do you like to see in 2021 for the new year for yourself? Any goals in 2021? Especially during this COVID still happening.
And also, I would love to improve on the music. I will also probably be looking for a worship leader job that maybe is opening up. I'm getting enough right now to be a youth pastor, but we'll see. We'll see where we go from here, and then just be more involved in the ministry. Maybe as a youth pastor, maybe as a worship leader. So that's my personal goals, and release more songs.
More songs, yeah. So this is Richard Tech. So we're gonna make another video blog with him singing a song. So stay tuned for that one. I'm gonna split it in the second part. So this is Richard right here. This is Music Studio.
Right. God bless you
Yeah,
guys.
God bless you. We're gonna see something more right here coming soon.